Hello everybody out there in the internet, welcome to Endless Battle Z, E3 2017, Ubisoft, however you say it, whatever, 2017, Gut Reactions. I'm Chris Evans, the Tech Master, joined by...
Desmond Miles.
And Trioptical.
I thought you were going to be a rabid.
I was going to, but then I was like, should I just randomly scream into the mic? Like, that'd be okay.
Anywho, so yeah, really good showing by Ubisoft. So, you know, they have always been in my heart the best of the mega publishers. They take a risk, do weird things, and make fun games. Even if sometimes they get a bit in the, let's grind this or drive this franchise in the ground and pump it out yearly. So we started off with the Mario and Rabbids Kingdom battle. Miyamoto came out on stage. There's a whole thing. They had some Buster Cannons, we were calling them, because that's what they looked like.
Mega Busters.
Or Mega Busters, I'm sorry. Not Buster Cannons. Mega Busters, duplicates. And then, yeah, the gameplay looked like effing XCOM in Mushroom Kingdom with Mario characters and Rabbids characters, and me and RPG were all about that, and it was like, ooh, I can't wait to play this game, so...
All about it.
Adding that to my Switch list, which I am making a thing. It's on the Switch list.
I'm going to try to get a Switch this week.
Yeah, Trioptical's on the hunt for one. He's been clicking around. He keeps seeing out of stock, so that could be a thing that happens if he can get one. So, yeah.
Did they announce a release date for this?
It's August.
I don't have any release dates on my list.
I think it's
only
like
have
August.
titles. I can look it up real quick, though.
August something, I believe.
I am looking for the release date. One momento. Probably be a good thing if I knew the title. Let's see. And then the next game that they announced, yeah, the release date is August 29th, 2017.
Yay.
Well, they didn't announce it because it's already been shown. But the next game they showed, Assassin's Creed Origins, and they showed a sweet trailer with some song that RPG really likes, apparently. And then they're like,
what?
hey guys, you want some gameplay? Well, guess what? You're going to wait until after the stream for 30 minutes of gameplay, blah, 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 on this mission, blah, blah, blah. I was talking about that song from the trailer, and you're like, I like the song. Oh my gosh.
I was kidding. I wasn't serious.
Oh. Well, then, never mind. But, yeah, like I said, at the Microsoft conference, Assassin's Creed, I like where this train's heading. I mean, according to RPG, there's, like, no lions or, was there any other animal besides the lions RPG that you're like, that's not in Egypt?
Flamingos or something?
Flamingos.
That's
not historically authentic, adding on top of the giant snake fight at the end of the first trailer.
I mean, there are lions in Africa, but
That
not that I'm aware
So I
of.
was like, well, maybe they went somewhere else in Africa and there's lions, so they're not in Egypt in that part where there's lions. But then also, me was like, well, open world games where it's like, you know, everything's a threat, and you have stuff running up all on you, you know, and you just hear that sound, and it's like, what was that? You know, lions are like kind of, I mean, outside of tigers, top of the list, just saying, because, yeah, you don't want to fight that with your bare hands anyway. In Assassin's Creed, it's like, you know, you're all, or at least in this one, you're all like, you know, origin of humanity times, so it's like your tools to fight back, spear, bow and arrow, knives, sharp blades. Have fun with that against a lion, and yeah, not looking forward to that encounter. But this game is growing on me, so hopefully they don't flub it up with the release, but they probably will, because it's like, hey, you want the Ultimate Edition, or the Gold Edition, or the Season Pass, or the insert thingy added onto the vanilla game that makes it more than $60, and I'll just wait 12 months, or however long, for a price drop, so, ball's in your court. Assassin's Creed, don't drop the ball. But you probably will. And then we had The Crew 2, and the whole time we were like, what game is this? Is this The Crew 2? Is this... I think RPG said it knew the driver. That was pretty funny. And then, yeah, they showed a bunch of cars racing, and a bunch of planes, and a bunch of... just a lot of vehicles racing at speeds and stuff. And it's like, okay, this is probably The Crew, because it's like, you know... Golden Gate Bridge, New York City, then they had Mount Rushmore, some random desert, maybe they're in the Man, my brain. What is going on with my brain today? The Grand Canyon. Jeez. E3 does my brain really weirdly, apparently. And just other places in the Americas, which is where the crew takes place. And we're like, maybe the crew too. And it was the crew too. And they said something at like the end about like something motor race, something. And I was like, I guess that's what they're going for. So, yeah. And Trioptical also said something about like this is like the Criterion racing game that they're not out with yet. And they kind of got beat to the punch, it looks like.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Because, yeah, they had stunt planes, and that was
pretty open world with more than just cars.
Yeah. And they had, like, little buggies and off-roady vehicles. So it wasn't just, like, street racing now. It's everything that you can kind of... If you can steer it and pilot it and race it... Okay, not literally everything, because there's no, like, street luging or rollerblades, skateboarding, you know. But, you know, vehicular-centered racing thingies, it might be in this game. That was neat to see the crew too. I mean, kind of glad I passed on the crew now because this one looks like way more of what it wanted to be. So, yeah. First pass not so much. Second pass though, we'll see. Next game shown, South Park: The Fractured But Whole. Still looks good. Still coming out in October, I think. I can't remember quite. Was it October or somewhere, sometime this fall?
October.
Yeah, I didn't write any release dates, so I don't remember when all these came out or are coming out. But I thought that was great at the end of the trailer when it had Timmy and he was doing a Professor X and he was telepathically telling Carmen that they're all douchebags, and he was like, he just caused all telepathically douchebags. That was great. So. And the pilot, and like the fact that they're just like riffing on the whole Marvel, or not Marvel, but like superhero franchises that are very, very hot on the big screen right now. Also, Wendy's superhero name Call Girl. It's like, oh, they went there. That was great hilariousness. Can't wait to play it. Then we were shown a VR experience game, which was like interesting and weird and a bit horrifying and scary and creepy because we're like, where's this going? What's going on? And then not a lot of game. I don't know if any gameplay was shown, but it's just like very it just looks like a psychological horror type VR experience called Enter the Home of a Mind.
No, it's called Transference.
Oh, my bad. That was just a tagline, I guess. Transference.
Or maybe it is called Enter the Home of a Mind.
Because I saw Enter the
Transference.
Maybe that's the subtitle. Who knows?
Because Transference is bigger.
Yeah, I just saw like the text or the line of text Enter the Home of the Mind. I was like, oh, that's the name of the game. And then I didn't see my eyes. It wasn't on screen long enough, so whatever. Thanks, Ubisoft. I'll look it up right now. Maybe it was called Transference. I'll Google it, actually. And then, next game... Oh, it is Transference, yep. I will write that down. Skull and Crossbones, or not Crossbones, Skull and Bones, a pirate... I don't know, because they showed a PvP mode, but they kind of hinted that there might be a single-player mode, but anyway, it's like 2018, so it's not even this year, so it's far off anyway, so... We don't really know, and they only showed this multiplayer because they showed a PvP demo of, like, ships versus ships of pirates. And then, like, the goal is not really to get more kills, it's to get more loot. So, every time you
can get the most booty.
Every time you were to sink an enemy ship, they would drop some of their loot, and you go to get the loot, and then, you know, but when you sink, you lose your loot. So then it had a neat little sequence of events where the team that won had, in order to win, the team or the boat that had like the most gold was essentially just like booking it out of the arena, and then like one of their ships like sacrificed themselves so they could like make it and not get caught up to you. That was pretty cool. And like going into it, they were talking about all the tactics of like the wind at your back and knowing how to maneuver your ships into battle, into position, so you can take advantage and be a very well skilled pirate, or you know, not be out of your depth in combat when fighting the other pirates in their boats, and blah 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 blah. So yeah, that's the thing. That was neat.
Also booty.
Oh, there's shanty songs aplenty too. Because we're like, yeah, our Tropical is probably gonna go for this because it's all about the shanty.
Jazz,
now.
jazz hands. That's how you end a shanty.
Oh yeah, it also seemed kind of like Rainbow Six because it was like 5v5 in that mode, and I think every ship does something different. Because there's like a frigate, there was other types of ships. I only remember the frigate really.
You just said frigate a lot. That's why I didn't remember that one.
So that was that mode, and then they ended the trailer, and they're like, well, your actions have. I can't remember if your actions have consequences, or your battle has consequences. Consequences, and they like went back to the They had like a cinematic thingy shown of like the winning pirate team celebrating. But it was like a CG trailer, and then like they're all like shanty shanty on the open sea, la la la, singing, and then all the loot around them from the ships they defeated, the spoils, and then all of a sudden there's like some of it gets like sucked down into the sea, and then it pops back up, and then like the camera cuts to like some angle where you're over the ship and you can like see a bit under the water, and there's some tentacles because they've released the Kraken. So
you took the cursed treasure, so the Kraken has been awakened.
But they didn't explain it, so it's just like, okay, just we're gonna leave you to your own devices on that one. So that was that. Let's see. Next game, we had a nice, we didn't get it at the beginning. We were like, well, this is Ubisoft. They always do weird stuff. So where's that? It's coming. Just Dance 2018 musical number with pop star. I've already forgotten her name. And some Sub-Zero dancers.
Start with a B.
And La La Land dancers and K-pop dancers and a panda dancer. It was a fun time. And it's coming to every platform because PS3, 360, Wii U, and wait, no, I don't think Switch, but maybe Switch.
Even the Switch, and everything, all of the consoles, even mobile phones, all of them.
Crazy. It's like they still make Wii games apparently at Ubisoft.
Well, when it makes the kind of money that Just Dance does, yeah, you would make Wii games too.
Then there's like a short video of South Park characters on a phone doing weird things out of context, and it's like, what is going on? This is weird. And it's a mobile game called South Park Phone Destroyer.
No, there was context. They were playing Cowboys and Indians.
Oh, that's right. It was like, but that's a weird thing. It started off with Cowboys and Indians, and they just kept adding like more and more factions. It was like, what the F is going on? It's like aliens and other stuff I can't think of right now. It got weird. It got super weird. It was like, wow, South Park, that's weird. So yeah. Oh yeah, there's like I can't think now. Celtic priests and some the choir boy. That's what
there were just tons and tons of them.
That was it got super weird. And it was like at the end, South Park Phone Destroyer, a South Park game on your phone now. So that's a thing.
Could be cool.
And then I gotta say, this next game made my heart sink a little, just because like I was like, oh dude, this is like, in my brain I'm like, this is looking very third person space vehicle combat-y awesomeness. But then we got hoodwinked into, haha, guess what? Toys to Life is back, or it never died. And it's called Starlink Battle for Atlas. And then like they're showing gameplay, and you're like, what is this thing? And it's like a Snowdrop engine. It's like, oh, this might be something cool. Who knows who's working on this? And then all of a sudden they start like splicing in footage of like, some person assembling a toy, or a toy on a little holder thingy as they're playing the game. And it's like, oh, Toys of Life. Wow.
It was attached to the controller too.
At the end it showed like this montage of like it being attached to like every single controller. It's like Xbox controller, PS4 controller, Switch. I was like, what? And it's like, yeah, Toys of Life. It's not dead. It's back and alive still, because someone had to pick up the slack for Disney Infinity and the void it left.
Just sleeping.
Dang it, Disney Infinity! Look what you've done.
How is it Disney Infinity's fault? I mean, first of all, Skylanders was around long before any of these things started happening, so it's all Skylanders' fault.
No, Disney Infinity left the market, which created the void.
No,
it's their fault.
We do not blame Disney for things. That's not how this works. Watch your mouth.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of bummed because, like, looking at it without seeing that Toys of Life stuff, it's like, oh, this looks like a cool, competent third-person action combat vehicle space game like Wing Commander or Rogue Squadron, X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter, whatever. But then they splice in the Toys of Life stuff, and it's like, oh, it's one of those. So maybe not so much if you're not buying the figures to have fun with this game. Whatever. The game shown after that was a steep expansion called Road to the Olympics, where they added a bunch of Olympic events, I guess, like the downhill slalom, cross board, or whatever it's called when like a bunch of snowboarders go down at once. It's like a free-for-all to get first place. Slopestyle, half pipe, some other stuff. I don't remember all of it, but yeah, just a bunch of that. And there's a bunch of the Olympic symbol is very present throughout. So it's like, oh, because like at first I was like, okay, is this some sort of Olympic thingy or what's going on here? And apparently it is. So yeah.
Officially licensed by the next Winter Olympics.
Oh, there you go.
Or with the next Winter Olympics.
The next one.
And then we got to see some Far Cry 5 action, and man, that was not enough, but I will take it because, yeah, it looks good. I'm super pumped now. I'm even more pumped because they added your co-op buddy back from Far Cry 2, so it's like, you got a buddy. I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to, like, stick with you the whole game, but, like, it had you and this lady. I can't remember her name. I'm sorry. Some sharpshooter lady. She was sniping for you. She had your Overwatch. She had your back. It was great. Like, you like, okay, before we start... The dude that presented it was all like, "You're deep in, was it Cult Territory RPG?" Because I was like, let's go there, RPG. He's like, "No."
Yeah, Cult Territory, and I told you that's a terrible idea.
Like, in the podcast leading up to this, like, we've been discussing this game about, like, how did they get here if they're in America? And it's like, it's a bit far-fetched. I mean, it's Far Cry, so it's like, you just gotta go with it and, like, take it as it is. But they're like, you're deep in cold territory. The cell phone towers are gone or cut or whatever, or lost or whatever. The telephone lines are cut. They're basically just like painting a picture for you of like how bad things have gotten. But they didn't really explain like how it got that bad. But then they also like said something about like you're in a town where people leave their doors unlocked. I was like, whoa, Far Cry team. I don't know how much research you're doing. This is in Canada, okay? There's like. If anywhere in America, I doubt people don't lock their doors because hey, I've been here.
No, there are actual.
There are definitely places like that.
Yeah, but there's definitely places.
Thanks for not correcting me during the stream, guys. Thanks a lot. Whatever.
Well, I mean, we thought you knew this.
Well, not in my city. Or
so I imagine
like
if you want to find where there's no cell reception, go to the Verizon maps, which they show all the time. Any of the white areas? Maybe in Montana?
Probably. It does seem like it's
this
usually
one?
in the north,
yeah.
by the in the northern parts by the Canadian territory or border. Funnily enough.
Yeah. And what they're talking about
on their side, but whatever,
is that Hope County was just sort of this, quiet backwater town, basically, and then the cult came in and took over.
It was just a normal town until the Fire Nation attacked.
But yeah, and then like you want to change things, you're gonna have to raise some hell, and they showed the gameplay, and it's like, oh man, so you have your co-op buddy, lady, who's sniping for you as you're going through this town, seeing like a bunch of people that have been killed. And it's like, man, they've just did a number, because like you start off and like this lady's like impaled on this tractor thing. And it's like, holy crap! It's like, oh my, it's just like so much, just like death and destruction and violence like everywhere you look. And like there's this cutout school bus you go into, and it's just like a bunch of blood and dead bodies. It's like, oh my god, like what are these people doing? Like they're just just carving a path through the city or town.
It's the Purge.
It's bound to happen eventually.
If you say so, RPG.
Hunger Games.
But yeah, then it went to the whole mechanics that you have when you play the some Ubisoft games, which like mark and execute. So you could like mark, or they had like all these characters at this truck and these civilians that they were like holding hostage and beating, and yeah, just taking their time, slowly torturing them. before you intervened, and so you're able to like to mark an enemy and then call in your co-op buddy to like take a shot, and then the main character just proceeded to like shoot characters, and they ended up calling in a. Did they call it an airstrike, or was that later in the trailer? Where it just like showed
He
random
called
stuff?
in an airstrike, and I was like, "Bruh, you could just fly out of here.
Yeah.
Why are we bothering?"
RPG made the point of like, okay, if you can call in air support, why don't you just take the air support and fly away? And I was like, yeah, that's a good point, RPG. I don't know how they're gonna get around that one. So I guess we'll see.
Clearly, you're not stuck here.
Because if they say you are, they're clearly lying, and then I would have to call into question some of these characters because obviously they're keeping you trapped for a reason.
Or maybe someone owes you money and you can't leave.
I feel like you could have just made them mail it to you. I feel like there's other ways.
Maybe you're trying to save everybody else in the city, and you don't want to leave them like a good hero.
Maybe you should tell them to GTFO on their own, because I'm not your hero. There's just no reasoning. So my can only guess is that whoever you are, you have a personal vendetta against this cult, and you won't be satisfied until their blood paints the streets red.
Is that why you used the RPG?
That's why I would stay.
Of course.
Vendetta.
Yeah, Far Cry 5 is next year, so, looking forward to that. Unfortunately, it has the weird tiered release thing, so it's like, oh, there's an Ultimate Edition, I'll just wait for that to be cheap, because, I like me some Far Cry, but I don't want to, like, get Far Cry with, like, not all the bells and whistles, so F that crap. And then the next game they showed started with like no introduction. It was just the Ubisoft logo, and it was a nice build of like what is it ooh the whole time. And you start off with like this monkey dude. He's in the shop with his pig.
Well, I knew what it was. Tekken was just in denial about it.
I mean, I guessed what it was, and I was like, I don't know, because I mean, I've only played a bit of the first one, so I wasn't sure like 100% like in the universe if like that's how things are. Because I know they had like anthropomorphal creatures or animal creatures,
animal people,
humanoid shaped animal creature people that just go around and talk and stuff. Besides Pidge, because that's as far as I got. Where it's like Jade and Pidge. Anyway, so it's like we might have given it away, whatever. So he's in this shop making a deal, and he gives this dude this golden elephant thingy, puts chocolate. And the deal goes down, and he's like, oh yeah, and he like leaves, the chase ensues, and the cops get dragged into it, and they're like, oh man, chase those dudes, or, well, the monkey and the lady, because the lady is not a dude, and then, they're on some, it's just really cool looking, and then, like, it turns into, like, the whole, like, scene out of The Fifth Element, where they're just, like, the space, or not the space, but, like, the sky, traffic, with, like, flying cars and everything, and like a giant police thingy, and like it gets blown up, and it's like, oh man, and they go off the planet, and it's like, oh man, what's going on? And like they get to the thing, or not the thing, but they get to some place where like their secret HQ of outlaws, misfits, and weirdos, and like, okay, talking about stuff, blah 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 blah, and like this gives the thing to the lady, it's got some disc on it, and she's like, oh, it's blah where blah 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 said it was blah blah, and it's like, I have no what's going on, but it's like, at one point I was like, is this Beyond Good and Evil 2? And then it's like it fades to black, and then the logo comes in, it's like, Beyond Good and Evil, it's like, oh, and like the crowd goes wild, it's like, oh man, it was a magical E3 moment, you had to be there, it was great, I loved it, it was amazing, and that was the closer, and it was like, ooh, Ubisoft's got to make a ton this year, good job for them. And then the dude that was like talking afterwards, he's like, yeah man, it's been a long time, like almost 15 years, I was like, man, it's a long time, Ubisoft, so glad to see that there is another Game of Dreams game in the works, because there was no date given for this game, as Trioptical pointed out.
It's going to still be a while.
20 years in the making.
But finally released. It's probably going to end up on the next console generation at this rate, because it's already skipped like 2 of them, so at this point, it's fine.
Yeah, that was back in PS2 or on PS4, so...
We're already like partway through PS4. It's not even like the beginning of the generation, so... yeah.
This is true. But they had the Space Monkey thingy that you can go sign up for, because, like we said, there's no in early states, so maybe they just want some ideas to crowdsource for free, because, you know, who doesn't want that? To make their awesome game better. But they were talking about, like, something about, like, the online or something for it, so I was like, okay, what's going on here? And they're like, play with your friends, so it's like, is it gonna be a Destiny clone? Yeah, maybe not, maybe, who knows? Online
Yeah,
co-op,
probably just has online components, but not necessarily full multiplayer type aspects kind of thing.
But yeah, the trailer's like full CG and like no gameplay, but it looked amazing. So,
well, obviously not. It's like in early development, so.
That was great.
Bright side though, at least you'll get it before Half-Life 3. You'll always have that.
And that was Ubisoft's press conference, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Especially compared to the low bar set by everybody who's came before so far this year. I got my Far Cry, like Ubisoft, I mean, Gungan Evil 2 was a nice surprise. Assassin's Creed's looking good, but, you know, I'm still holding off. Mario and the Rabbids, I gotta say, I was not expecting to like, fall in love with that game the way I fell in love with that game, so kudos to them, because the internet was, like, already to, like, unleash its hatred upon that game, and it was all up in my erogenous zone of, like, you like this Tekken? Yeah, and I was like, ooh, I do. Keep rubbing, rub Rabbids, and it's like, yeah, okay, and I was like, oh, yeah, keep going, and then, yeah, just, you know, that XCOM with Mario, it's like, I never saw that, like, in my life ever being a thing, so I will take that combination of peanut butter and jelly and just gloriously shove it in my mouth and eat it.
Have you never seen peanut butter and jelly together before?
Yes, I have, actually. Why? I eat it, like, all the time.
Well, no, because the way you said it, you can't use an analogy of things that you always see together for something that you never got to see together, because otherwise people are going to think you've never seen peanut butter and jelly before.
Well, I would use another analogy I just thought of as you said that, but that'd be super weird, so I'm not going to. So, yeah. Either of you have anything to say, anything else to say before we end that?
Nope, I'm too busy in the Animist in order to make any further comment.
It was good.
It was solid stuff. So yeah, that is it for our gut reactions to the Ubisoft's E3 2017 press conference. We'll be coming back later in the day with Sony. Oh, touchdown! Cannot wait. Oh, sorry. Super bummed. You can't tell.
It'll be late, because don't they start at like 9 o'clock or something?
It doesn't matter for GE, as long as I get to see it. I don't even care. So it's like, it's whatever, dude. I could wait.
Starts at 7 here.
Wow,
That's just start at 8 here.
And I have stuff to do between then, like just render videos. That's gonna eat up all the time. So it's gonna be here in no time. So it's great. So yeah, this is Aimless Double Z. Until you hear from us again. Hope you enjoyed that, and we're now signing off. E3 2017. Wow, Sony. Wow, Ubisoft. Good job. Beyond Game 2. Wow. Sorry. Okay, I mean it now. Pushing the stop button.